Hello, beautiful people. How are you doing? Just hope you're doing well. Today, I want us to talk about something that is so important to everyone's craft. If you must really go very high up, if you must make impact in life, these are things that you must give attention to. And whenever these items are played down or discover that a lot of issues, a lot of things start to go bad. The word creativity that is almost like a ringing tone in a professional setting. Whenever you get along with professionals, you always hear this word creativity. It's so important to everyone that wants to take this life seriously, but it's something you cannot really play down on. If you start playing down on creativity, there are a lot of opportunity that you might not fit into because the importance cannot be played down on. Let's look at it briefly. What is creativity? What is this word that everyone seems to talk about? Creativity. You enter the secular sector, you're hearing creativity. You enter the religious sections, you are hearing creativity. What is really this word creativity? Okay, making it as the layman term, creativity is the ability of generating fresh ideas. These ideas could be original. It could be from what is existing because you see the earth is revolving round and round and round. There's nothing new on this surface. Everything is there are things that have been that people sit back and come back and say, okay, this if this was okay, I can improve on. Now improving on what others have done before, it's is referred to as creativity. All right. Now I pick up a product that is already on the market and look at the function, the services that delivers to the masses, and I wake up and like, okay, how can I really get this thing in different form and it will actually serve better? Okay, look at then you discover that when people are sick, all you need to do is carry the patient, carry your person, rush him down to the hospital, and the moment they get to the hospital, they take it off from there. But someone woke up and saw, okay, he saw an opportunity that, okay, I can actually be coming to the homes of these people. That's creativity. He went to study. He's not waiting for the customers to come to him. He's taking his product down to their premises to deliver. Okay. Another wake up and said, I go to their houses, I attend to them. I go to their houses. Okay, what about in a scenario a customer that I've not been introduced to by either my advert or the different means I'm actually getting myself across to the people. What of a man that I've not a contact with someone that I've had dealing with previously? If that man want to get to me, what happens? What systems can I create? And another man wake up and said, no, there's a better way to run this. And he wakes up and takes the same services that, okay, I come to your house, I serve you, and say, okay, no, you don't need to bother yourself. Now, if you need a doctor today, sorry, I'm not a medical person, actually using the medical line as an illustration, but I just hope you get the idea. Now, instead of him waking up and say, okay, maybe this location might need a doctor at a particular point. I'm not in this location, but let me create a system. Look at how creativity is coming in. Let me create a system, and this system, wherever I am in the world, I can easily just connect to other doctors. Look at today, look at the Ubers today. Okay, instead of you calling the driver, you can just go online and click on few buttons, and less than 5 or 1 minute, 2 minutes, depending on the availability, you have a driver at your doorstep. Creativity. So this is something that is very useful. Whatever sector you find yourself, you cannot play down the place of creativity. You must just find a way to develop. The reason why most of the times you discover that a staff can easily be fired is not because they are not important. Most of them, if a system want to fire its staffs, the first thing they will discover that they will do, first of it all, they will sit down and start checking their staffs. Okay, who among them is the most creative? There's a particular scenario I heard of once. A particular man that was owning a very big firm. He had his family members. They are all most of his staffs were family. and they were doing it as a family business, and it was going as a family business. He now employed a particular consultant to look into a system. He believed that he should be doing far more than what he was doing, but he was doing so little. Okay, what is the solution? How can I go about this stuff? So this consultant now said, okay, first of it all, we need to cut down your staffs. Cut down my staffs. Say, okay, I brought you in so that I could make more profit. So don't worry, let's look into the first thing they did that was shocking. They took a list of all the staffs and start listing their jobs. Okay, this one is doing this. This one, 10 of them is doing the same thing. Okay, this 10 of them that is doing the same stuff. Who among them is the most creative? Okay, let's check the five most creative on this aspect. They pick the five. Okay, let's check you see where the whole thing is. So if you play down on the place of creativity, you are playing down on a lot of opportunities, because you just miss out. A lot of places that you should be occupying, a man that is more creative than you will just all of a sudden push you out of the line. Not because you're not supposed to be there, but you have not taken the pain. You have not taken the pain to sit down and ask yourself, okay, what am I not doing that I should do? All right, how do you know that you're creative? How can you tell? Now let's look at it. Take for an instance, you wake up in the morning, you get out of your door. The next day you wake up in the morning, you get out of your door. The next day you wake up in the morning, you get out of your door. You cannot say you are creative. Now, if you wake up in the morning and instead of you getting out of your door, the first day you open the door and you wait, you sat down and you relax yourself. The next day you wake up, you step out. The other day you wake up, no, instead of me just going out of the door, let me get some activities on my way out of the door. That you are being creative. Now, if being creative, for you to know, it has to do with your ability of innovating everything around you, or everything around you. Let's now look at the characteristics. How do you see a man and know that, okay, that man is creative? Let's look at that. Now, first thing you need to know, that also applies to you as an individual. When these things are, you can see them clearly in your life, it means you are creative. How do you say you are creative? How? Now, let's look at it. Number one, you have to check this originality. Do you pick up an idea and refine that idea until it becomes original in your hands? Meaning, okay, everyone is buying bottled water and you're buying the same bottled water and you said, no, I don't want to buy. I want people to buy this bottled water, and you want to sell this bottled water to the next man, and you pick up this same bottled water they've been selling. How do you now present it to be original? Do you have that mindset of waking up and say, okay, everyone has been doing this thing, this stuff. It's not bad. It's not a bad idea that they have the idea of running it this way, but I can actually make it better. And you wake up and say, okay, instead of me going, I will produce this bottled water, use the same pattern of case. No, I will change the case. Okay, after this case, every other person, when they want to buy their bottled water, they have to go to either the supermarket or go to a kiosk to go and get their bottled water. No, but my own bottled water, when I'm done producing it, I'll pick up mine, I'll take it to the doorstep of everyone. That's being creative. And that is not something that is rampant. It's not something that you can just wake up this moment and say, okay, I need a bottled water. And you know that, okay, I can call to company and they are going to deliver me a bottled water now. No, we don't have that at the moment. For either that is all thanks to God, but for either that we don't have that, you can now pick up and say, okay, every other person, this is the way they sell theirs, but I want to be creative and make this thing a little bit more, giving more value to each individual that has to deal with my products. Creative men has this in common. They are deep thinkers. As a creative, you must have the ability of sitting down and pondering on a particular subject. You can sit down and go over and over and over and over until you find what has not been seen about that particular stuff. That's being creative. That's being creative. Now, most of the times you discover that the challenges that we face as individuals, one of the reasons why they are there and it's looking like there's nothing we can actually do, there's not much we can do about it. It's not because there's not much we can do. The fact is, these things that stands there and is looking like they are one big mountain, there are things that are beyond our management, is just the fact that we cannot sit down and ponder and think and imagine. Okay, you started a particular project and the project is stopped at a particular point. If you actually notice that the project is stuck at a particular point, it means you are not a deep thinker. Deep thinkers, before the problem arrived, they've seen it, and it will only surface if there was no way to avoid it. And most of the time, most of the challenges that we face, there are things that we can easily wake up and say, okay, this is, if I allow this, it will affect this. If I allow this, it will affect this. So let me block this there. If I block this, I would have blocked this. There was once I was actually discussing with a particular pastor friend of mine, and we're just gisting, and I told him that, so brother, do you know that he's no longer your member? He was like, what do you mean? I was actually working for him as an admin then. I said, so brother is no longer with us. He's done. I was like, why are you saying that? That's one of our most committed brothers. I said, no, sir. That guy is no longer here. He was like, no. I said, okay, let's just give him time. Time will tell if he's still with us or he's against us. Not long. It wasn't up to 2 months. Gradually, he was no longer coming to church. The pastor was like, what's going on? I said, I told you 2 months ago that this brother is done here. There's nothing. Why was I able to pick it that this guy is the thinking, his imaginations? I sit down and I check everyone's character around me, everyone that is connected to everyone that was connected to that ministry that is important. I check their commitment, check everything. From the first day he dropped in commitment, I knew that there was something wrong. I started getting close. I noticed that this guy had gone very far before I was even going. He had gone very far. It is just his body. Okay, his body is used to coming to this particular environment. That is why he's still coming. Not because his interest is still there. His interest is done. But he still had to come because he has been coming. And most of the time, that's a problem that most of us will face. Also, part of the challenges that is general among so many. A lot of stuff that we know that this thing is not okay, we cannot stop them. Not because we don't know that those things are not okay. But there are things that we have done over time. There are things that we are used to. For the fact that we are used to them, we cannot now just wake up in the morning and say, okay, some will tell you that this has been my life for several years. Okay, it has been your life, but the day you saw that this thing is not giving you the results you need, why not? Why don't we wake up and say, okay, no, this stuff is not really helping me, but me keeping up to it, that will take us to the next part. That will take us to, creative men are very flexible. They can easily let go. Nothing is important, as in nothing is like, we are holding this one. But no. Creative men don't do that. As a creative man, one of the ways you know that you're creative is flexibility. Okay, we started this project. The project is not going. Okay, what are we not doing right? Check on the lines. This is not going right. It is pointed out that, okay, this is not going right. For some, you just notice that, but the fact that that's what they've done their entire life, they don't need any change. Leave it the way it is. I think I can remember a funny one. There was a time I connected with a group, and all I could hear was, this is the way we do it. I was like, why? If there is a better way of achieving this particular goal, why don't we look at it? They said, no, yeah, we don't. This is how we do it. This is it. We don't change anything. This is how the church was handed over. And this is how it was continued. No. Creative men, we are flexible men. We are flexible. We are easily to bend. We don't we are not rigid. In our thinking, we are not rigid. In our mind, we are not rigid. We don't have a rigid mindset that, okay, we cannot bend out of a particular stuff. No, when it's not working, it's not working. We know that this thing is not working. So instead of we bending out, um, bending our life into a particular stuff that we've identified that this is not working. Flexible is our watchword. Flexibility. We're just flexible. We're okay, all right, no issues. Glory be to God. We actually spent so number of years. We only learned how it will not work. And now we know that this is how it will work. And this is how we are carrying it. Because this is how it will work. And not long, the day a man wakes up and sees his mistakes and say, okay, this is a mistake that needs to be corrected, and is willing and decides to correct such mistakes, that's the day you discover that all of a sudden the things that used to be the barriers that he faced, he wakes up and they are no more. Because the only thing that keeps the things that we don't need around us, it's us. The day we wake up and realize that this is not what I want, and we say, no, it is okay. That is the end. It's that simple. Now, let's look at the next. Creative men are risk takers. They are risk takers. They can easily venture into what everyone believes that, no. Because most of the times, what keeps a man rigid is the fear of the unknown. We just believe that, this is how it has been done. Oh, if we change it now, are we sure that it will not go the other way? When you want to be creative, the problem with creativity, we cannot really tell the outcome most of the times. You cannot start a particular stuff today and you know that, okay, this is the end. That's why most of the times you discover that the older ones, they rather want to prefer staying in a particular circle that they understand, that they know that, okay, this circle, this is how it works. So they don't need a prophet to come and tell them that, you did this one, you did not do this one. They know that, okay, 1 plus 1 is 2. Anytime you do 1 plus 1, it will be 2. Please, don't give us rocket science. We don't need that one. Just be doing 1 plus 1. But creative men would not want to accept what has been and would want to remain that way. No. That's why we discover that the world is what it is today. Because some could just wake up and say, okay, this. Okay, let's improvise that. That has been this. We have been doing this for a very long time. Instead of we continuing this way, let's have a change. Let's flip it. Okay, they used to work in the morning. One set came and said, no, we've seen how productive we were during the day. Let's start the night. And all of a sudden, you are seeing that some are doing day and night. But at the beginning, it's not something that will just happen. Because, okay, if let's assume you are used to running the day, the day does not come with so much of risks, not as the night. The night comes with a lot of risks. You have to put a lot of stuff in place before you think of, okay, you want to run in the night. Because even scripture said it. It said, walk while it's day. But the night cometh when no one can walk. Why can't we walk? Because you cannot see. And you might stumble and fall. Alright? So, creative men, we are not afraid of risks. We're not afraid of taking those risks and going all the way out for it. We're not afraid. We can easily just wake up and say, okay, this is a challenge. We are taking this risks. Are we doing it? Yes, we're doing it. And all of a sudden, no matter this thing might not work. We know that it might not work. But we want to believe that it will work because we've done our own work and we've seen that this should work. Out of strong faith, we are going ahead believing that what we have seen is the reality. And first of all, those that take risks, you discover that first of all, they've seen it all in their mind. In their imagination, they've seen it all. They've seen it all. It's not like they are coming to do trial luck. No. They are not doing trial luck. They've seen it that, okay, if I go in this direction, I will get this done. If I go in this direction, I will lose this. So instead of me losing this, I am going to go all the way out. So they look at, I think I heard of a particular funny story once. It's a very funny one. This particular captain and his team, they were going to face a particular war that looked impossible. very, very deadly one. And as they were on their way going, the captain, they got to a particular seashore. He knew that some would want to find a way to escape back. But eventually the battle was going stronger than what they expected. So all he did was he lighted the boat and burned it to ashes. So as we are going, it's either we succeed or we will die. So if you knew that, okay, there's no going back, what do? You put your whole energy, your own efforts. Now, we've taken so much time talking about creativity. Now let's talk about the atmosphere, the conditions that strengthens one's creativity. Now you see, there are atmospheres that you encounter and you become a little bit more creative than you used to be. You can create such atmosphere. You can walk into such atmosphere. Now, let's take for an instance an atmosphere where you feel very relaxed. Everything is so calm. They are not over bright lights. The lights are dim, where your brain is not feeling like someone is looking at me, someone is trying to chase me, where you are feeling like the whole world is not seeing you and you are the one seeing the whole world. In such atmosphere, you can easily create so much. So much can be done in such atmosphere. In such atmosphere. So we must always find the time, find the possibility of creating atmosphere that enables our systems to calm down, to relax. Because if you're not relaxed, you cannot be creative. It is in the atmosphere, it is in the availability of stillness of your soul that you can get to the point where you can hear your inner personality speaking and you can pick everything that is being said clearly. Meditation can also get deeper in an atmosphere that is calm. If there are distractions all around, there are some rooms you cannot enter. You can't. You will struggle to, but the distractions that are around will just, all of a sudden, you just notice that, you're out again. Okay, you want to fire back and get him back there, you're out again. That is how it is. So, very, very important, you must not play with the atmosphere that you find yourself, the point that you find yourself, and you know that this point is calm enough, as in instead of you are calm, you are relaxed. You're not tense, you're not struggling to like, no, you're calm. That's one of the atmosphere that you can really express. Another atmosphere that encourage creativity is an atmosphere that allows you to experiment. If you find yourself in a location where you can experiment the thoughts that comes into your mind, you discover that easily. Let's say, for example, a musician. A musician that has all the equipment that he needs available to him can easily. You wake up, the piano is there. A thought run into your mind. You can just sit up and you place your hand. You try out what you heard. But in a scenario where the atmosphere is not created, that you could really just express your creativeness, you can really just express it, it becomes a little bit also dragging because the idea will come, but you now have the ability of trying it out to be sure that, okay, what you actually saw is something possible. Yes. Another that enables creativity is curiosity. A man that is curious will always want to know more because he knows that there is more. That drive of, okay, there's something that is there and I need to know. It also drives creativity. It drives you to be creative because, okay, you want to get to the point B and you are noticing that, okay, there's this and that, there's this and that. Okay, plus and minus, plus and minus. Okay, instead of me sitting down here and doing plus and minus, no, let me take 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step. It is the curiosity that is driving such person. All right. Now, let's look at this. While creativity can bring a lot of benefits and opportunity, it also comes with a lot of challenges. I cannot deceive you. Creativity comes with criticism. Men will criticize you when you're creative because most of the things that you'll be doing are things that they've not experienced before. They've not seen such before. So you being the first person bringing that idea to the limelight, and you don't also expect people to just accept it. They will not. They want to say, no, 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 let it die, let it die. This is why most of the times you must be careful with those you share your ideas with, because you might want to be creative, and a man that does not understand the depth of what you're saying, that have not been to, that have not experienced the depth in his imaginations, would want to like, no, 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 this thing, no, I don't think so. Don't you think that this thing, if we should lighten it up a little bit? Nobody, they don't do it this way. But in your mind, you've seen it. And you say, the power of the mind is something that you should not be playing down on. Our mind is so powerful to the point that whatever you see, you can bring it to reality. Whatever you see, if you can see too, you get it. This is why at a particular point when God came to visit Adam in the Holy Book, he told him, as far as you can see. At some point he said, count the stars. If you can number them, so shall your children be. And he said numbering, he could not number it all. He said, so shall it be. Imagine that he promised Abraham, he said, I'm going to make your children like the stars and like the sands. He said, count the stars. That's how your children will be. Count the sands. Today, how many millions are we in the world? Endless. An individual cannot just wake up in the morning and say, I want to count everybody in the world. That's the promise God made to Abraham. Then, but Abraham could not see it. So that time, he said, look. And the day Abraham was able to catch the idea that, yes, this is a reality, an angel had to pass by. And we tell Sarah, hey, woman, oh, you laughed. I told you that you would be a son at this age, and you laughed. So you call him laughter. So that's the power of the mind. So we need to understand that criticism is one of the things that is one of the challenges that creative men face. And if you must be creative, you must be willing to go all the way against it, because so many that are ahead of you, they are not creative. Let's just look at it. Let's just hit the nail on the head. They are not creative. So you that is creative is a threat to them, because the things that they do not have the ability of running are the things you can easily do without stress. And when you're able to do things that cannot be done easily by others, you are a threat. And the best they can do is to sit down and say, hey, calm down. You are going too far. Please come down to our level. This is how we all do it. This is how we do it. So you discover that when the younger one brings an idea that is not familiar, it's strange, the older ones will like, no, they don't do that. No, they are not used to it, and they cannot see it until you have brought it to reality. And the ability of bringing your imaginations to reality is what we call creativity. It's that word, creativity, because you keep going and you keep going, and as you are going, somehow you're getting what they cannot imagine to being. And as you are doing it, one of the challenges you will see face, these are things that you cannot run from unless you don't want to be creative. Okay, when you are criticized to a particular point and they are not able to beat you hands down because you are strong-willed, you will start facing what they call segregation. They will start pushing you aside, and if possible, they want to cover you in the shadows. And if people are like, yes, so person, please don't mention that name here. Leave that name out of it. We don't need that name. We don't need such persons in our midst. You start facing little challenges here and there, but it's all for good, because at the end of the day, it's because of the things that you can bring to being. And you see, after the creation of man, God told man to be fruitful, and that fruitfulness is pick everything I have created and be creative on it. Pick the flower and find what you can do with the flower. Pick the tree and find what you can do with it. Everything you see me, pick the air and find what you can do with it. Everything that God created, when he said be fruitful, he actually meant pick it, and if you get the idea, you get the idea. But if you don't get it, come back tomorrow. Now, as a man that is creative, There are still few things you must watch out for. There are things you must watch out for. Overthinking. Sometimes we are faced with challenges all around. You have to deal with the paperwork. You have to deal with the human materials. You have to deal with your critics. You have to deal with a lot of stuff that you must just deal with. And these things are not easy. It's not easy for you to wake up and say, okay, you're actually fighting and fighting. So at the end of the day, when you're not careful as a creative individual, you might be confined into a shell of thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. It's not bad to think, but pondering on the right things, it's very crucial. Not allowing the challenges that comes with you being creative to overshadow you. It, if you're not careful, you might get to the point of thinking and overthinking, thinking what is not even there. And remember, our thoughts makes who we are. It is what we think, the things that we keep thinking and pondering on. That's the reality will become at the long run. So if you want to be creative and you not get distracted with all the challenges and you not start thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, you are thinking of, okay, the resources needed. Okay, maybe you need 5 billion to get this job done, and you just have 3 billion at hand at the moment. You're like, where do I get the balance to get this thing done? You have a lot of, okay, now it's not money that we need. We need human resources. We need someone that can do this particular activity perfectly well. And you have to calculate and calculate. Another dangerous thing with creativity is it forces you to come back and check your analysis again and again and again and again. Now, today you came up and you said, okay, I want to do this particular stuff, and you started it and you had some challenges. What do? You go back, you come back again and like, okay, since this is not right with the setup, all right, let's break it down and check where we're missing it. Until you are able to get it 100% right, it means something is wrong. If you're not getting 100%, something is actually wrong. Truly, something is wrong. To get that is wrong altogether, it could actually lead you to the point of thinking. But be careful so that you don't overthink, because this has to do with your emotions. If you're not careful, you get a little bit emotional, and if you get over emotional, you might just face what they call depression, just little of it. And you see, depression is one funny thing that most of the times it will just shock you that you're depressed, but you don't know you're depressed. For creative men, we can just bend all our heads on a particular project and we're just thinking on that one. And all of a sudden we're depressed doing that particular stuff, but we don't know that we're depressed. So instead of we now waking up to say, to like, come on, am I okay? Is something wrong with me? But like, no, this is not okay now. This is not okay now. Even the one that is okay, then you know that something is wrong with your emotions. So you need to sit yourself down and ask yourself, okay, why? Why can't I get this thing? Okay, I'm not getting it 100% right. I knew that I would not get it 100% right from the beginning, because no one has been able to get it 100% right from the start. You must fail. Failure is one of those things that you cannot shy away from on earth. You have the good ideas. That ideas must face what they call failure. In failing, we learn. If the idea is original and you say you don't want to fail while running it, then that idea will not come to reality, because no one has done that before. But the fact that there's no the example that you have to follow, it means that you will have to wake up and check it again and make the mistakes that others will follow. That is why we have those that mentor, because they pass through a particular path, they learn all the mistakes. So those that are coming after them. So creative men, we can say they are pathfinders. They create the paths for others to enter, to follow. And for you to be such men, you must have a very strong and a control of your emotions, a control of your total being. Because if you are not careful, you might not be able to put it together. You're like, okay, this one is going right, this one is going wrong, this one is going right, this one is going wrong. That is how it's actually supposed to be, as long as it's the first time. All right, people, I think this is where I think I'm cutting we're doing the cutting at this point because you say sometimes we cannot get it all to you in one piece. You just need to come back again and again and again and again. Check out other videos that I have out there and just fill your soul with the right information that will give you the right push, and the top is your place, people. Till I come your way again. Bye bye. I love you all. Bye bye.